Now, where do you find people with money? I'm just going to list everywhere you find people with money.
Before we get on with this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video.
Creditworthiness is your credit footprint, your score on Experian, the information that lenders see on you, your payment history. One thing Mark said to me really early was, Rob, never miss a payment on anything. And one of the main reasons was because we're linked on credit. Your creditworthiness is you getting lending, and you getting lending is you scaling your property portfolio. So he said, never miss a payment. Keep your credit clean. He goes and checks online for me and my credit score, and he helps me with that. He sold a load of my shares and restructured them and put them into different funds, and he did all that for me. So it's great to have someone to help you in that area when it's not your strength. That's your creditworthiness. Your lendworthiness, that's your reputation. That's the trust, the goodwill, the mind space. It's how much you serve and you solve. It's how much you care and have concern to serve. That's your lendworthiness. And that, by the way, is just as important as your creditworthiness. Make no mistake about it. And again, you don't need any experience for that. You just need to do the right thing. Right, let's go then. I'm going to take more questions I've been asked about raising finance and JVs. So, Khadijah asked, how do you open the conversation without begging? I think it's a good one. Please, oh my life. The way I always try and get to the discussion of money or deal is to have them make the first move. So I suppose it is a little bit of financial flirting, you could say. How might I do that? Just every chance I get, talk about deals and property and what I'm doing. A little bit of fishing. But I try my best not to go in and say, oh, so should we talk about business? I try and let them make that first move. And usually, if you converse and seed in some things that you're doing and gently move the conversation towards property and business, they will do that. Natalie, how do you ask without asking? I think it's a similar question. So, selling to is asking someone, have you got any money? You know, what kind of property joint venture do you want to engage with? That's selling to, if you like. Selling through is, do you know anyone who would be interested in X deal, Y venture, Z opportunity? So if you put, and write this down, it's just a little script, but it's really simple. Do you know anyone who? That's how to ask without asking.
Multiple streams of property income event. This is the place where most of the biggest property players in the UK started. You could be the next one. You're going to learn all about buy, refurbish, rent, refinance, deal packaging, serviced accommodation, commercial conversions, rent to rent, HMOs, houses in multiple occupation, and no money down property investing. Whether you're starting out in property or whether you've already got a property business but you want to take it to the next level, Multiple Streams of Property Income event is the place to be.
If you network with people consistently enough, and those of you that do, you'll know this, all these questions, which are wise questions, they kind of become irrelevant because it happens in a trusted environment like the Progressive VIP community, like the Progressive Property Networking event, like a business networking event that you've gone to a few times. These conversations happen if you turn up. Sometimes I hear people say, yeah, I went to a couple of those meetings and there's no money in the room. Well, no one advertises how much money they've got in the room. How could you ever know that? You couldn't. So those conversations will happen if you go to events long enough. And by long enough, I mean it might happen in the first 3 months, 6 months, I don't know. I got lucky in some regard. I met Mark at my very first property networking event. But I went around and networked with everyone. And I was uncomfortable doing that. Okay, David has asked, where do you find investors? And what pack do you use or do you give them? So I've found that 2/3 at least of people, write this down, don't need to see a pack. But this is what I would do. But I would get yourself a nice metrosexual man bag. Carry this baby everywhere with me I go. Have a folio in there Whether it's your handbag, your laptop bag, in another folder with the deals that you're doing or you've done. Now, many of you have done deals 30 or 40 years ago. Your own houses that have gone up in value. Deals that you've tried to package but maybe didn't quite go through. They can all be in the folio as long as you're clear and not pretending that you own them all. And you have that with you wherever you go. And then when the conversation gets to the relevant moment, you can say, oh, I've got a few properties past and present in my bag. I have found only about 1/3 of investors ask for a pack. But you should keep a portfolio. Just go into Coleman's to get the leather bound thing. I'm gobsmacked how many people don't do that. You should do it for your own goals and records anyway. Now, where do you find people with money? I'm just going to list everywhere you find people with money, so write this down. I've covered 5 already, I think. Just before we do that, turn to your partner and say, show me the money. I have a friend in the audience. I looked at him and he went, don't do that. Don't do that. Saw you, too cool. So, here we go. Flying clubs. Oh, but Rob, I can't afford to fly. Every birthday, Christmas, Valentine's, anniversaries, gifts that you've got to call in, get people to buy you half-hour flying lessons. Fixed wing is about half the price of a rotary, a helicopter. Go and have a few flying lessons and go and meet people. There are so many loaded people at your local flying club. Do it or don't, but if you do, it'll be a great experience. The higher-end gyms I've already told you about. Golf clubs, rotary clubs, squash clubs, charity balls, property meetings, business meetings, through other friends of yours. Every single one of these places, bar squash club, because I don't do squash, I've found people who've got money. Every single one. Family, friends, business people you know, people you connect with on LinkedIn, they're everywhere. Now, when you hang around with people with money, who do they hang around with? People with money. And I think in the early days, I used to look at Mark, who, in my view, Mark would only really hang around with people with money, and I thought it was a bit elitist. But it wasn't that he was hanging around with people with money just because that's the only people he wanted to hang out with. It was because he's got money and you hang out with people like you. So it's a natural gravitation. What is money? This is important. Money is an abstract concept of value. It's a universal exchange of value. It's a measure of worth. It's an efficient exchange. All your fears, all your doubt, everything that you feel that wouldn't have money come your way is you, not money. Now, money is moving faster than ever. Because if you want a deal, someone can pay the money to the solicitor at the speed of light. I was going to say, and then the solicitor can pay it at the speed of light, but some of them don't go at the speed of light. Money moves fast, faster than it's ever moved. And in the current climate we're in, I'm seeing money move faster than ever. So I think if you start to build a good relationship with money, understand what it is. It's a way for a producer to serve a consumer. It's a way for a lender to serve an investor. It's a way for a JV partner to serve a JV partner. Oh, you know, has anyone watched Dragon's Den? Show me your hand if you've watched Dragon's Den. I don't like to assume, but show me your hand if you have. Okay, so how many times have you seen the dragons invest with someone they got turned off by and didn't like? I never have. You immediately see them go like this. Immediately. Yeah, done, out. I think that's telling. That's telling because they are sophisticated investors who for a living invest money. That is very telling to me. So my job is to hopefully give you the balance in this session of skill set, mindset, and accountability. So we've covered quite a lot on skill set. I've given you a lot of hopefully practical tips. This, of course, is the mindset, which I believe is more important than the skill set, because the skill set you can find on the way as you go. Keep turning up to events, get good mentors, keep reading books, keep listening to audio programs, keep listening to podcasts. You can always top that up. And by the way, you don't have to be perfect before you start. If you're a bit worried about using someone's money, well, I think that's a really good thing. If you weren't worried about using my money, you're not getting it. I want you to be worried about using my money. So then you'll use my money wisely. So fear is okay.
If you've enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about property investing professionally, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel.